So guys, after the recent kidnap of a reverend father in one of the parishes of the Catholic Church in Kaduna State, where a reverend father alongside 10 other parishioners were kidnapped by these terrorists, 3 people died in that incident. Now, Donald Trump is saying he's going to be sending extra 200 American troops to come and train the Nigerian military men on how to fight insecurity. The question remains, is it that we don't know how to fight terrorists, or is it that we don't have the political will? Anyway, let me show you how this headline captured it. It says, breaking, President Trump stunned the world by announcing 200 troops will be deployed to Nigeria to train forces to destroy terrorists killing Christians, protect Christians at all costs. Christ is king. And now this headline also confirmed it, saying, just in, US deploys 200 troops to Nigeria to train forces days after Trump blasts Tinubu government over Christian genocide. So guys, this is a latest headline. This is coming after the kidnap that happened in Kaduna State, where a reverend father has been taken captive, by these terrorists, and he has still not been released, alongside 10 other people who were picked up in that Catholic church. Also, 3 people were gunned down during this attack. And Trump is saying that he's going to send in more troops to train Nigerian military men on how to fight terrorism. Now, see how this headline captured it after Raimo also granted an interview as a result of the latest attack. This person here tweeted, this a broadcaster in the US. She said, chaos and murder in Nigeria's middle belt. Up to 300 killed, a priest and parishioners kidnapped, and a church burnt. Raimo says the US is now helping through special forces and its security cooperation roadmap with Nigeria. The level of insecurity happening in the country cannot be quantified, and all against Christians. Remi Tinubu went to the US to say there is nothing like Christian genocide. The Muslims are being killed. Tell me where Christians are targeting the Muslims, if not the Muslims targeting the Christians. These days they go to churches. They are now making church to be a scary place for people to come to. So guys, now this other headline here also says that potentially as many as 300 have been killed throughout the region of Nigeria. We have had this priest who has been kidnapped as well with 10 of his parishioners. Hey God, Raimo speaking. So guys, this is the latest on ground after the attack that happened in Kaduna State. Many reverend fathers have been kidnapped in northern Nigeria. It's now like a monster to be a reverend father. They see you as an enemy. And guess what is even more troubling is that they go into the parishes. They go to where these reverend fathers are living. Not that they met them on the road. They will go to their parishes to kidnap them. Some of them ended up not coming back. Some of them came back, but it's always a horrific experience. Now, I'm going to allow you to take a look at how now Nigerians have been reacting about the APC being scared of, being let go in the 2027 election. I mean, Nigerians are ready to take out the APC in the next election, but they are scared. Now, many people are wondering, even after Tinubu coerced governors to join the APC, Tinubu is still scared to transmit electronically. Now, I'm going to allow you to take a look at what this lady said, and you're also going to listen to what Kenneth Okonkwo has got to say about what is currently happening in Nigeria. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more. Now, take a look. So guys, let me quickly show you how some Nigerians are reacting to headlines of insecurity and also the mandatory transmission of election results which Nigerians are demanding for. Now, Orji Uzor has come out to say he's going to vote against the mandatory transmission of election results because he has no internet in his place. See how this headline captured it. There is no internet coverage in my village. I will vote no to election transmission of results. Orji Uzor. Remember, Orji Uzor is a 2-term senator, was a 2-term governor, a 1-term House of Rep member, and a former presidential candidate of the PPA. Yet he couldn't bring ordinary internet connection to his own village, and he's proud of it. So guys, this is what these politicians, they want to remain forever in the Senate. They don't want free and fair election, and they cannot even give people little benefit. You can imagine all the young men in his village must have run away because common internet no day in his village. That is why he's boldly telling the world, meaning a small business cannot even survive in his village. That's what Orji Uzor is saying. Now, there is this lady who came out for the protest saying her husband was kidnapped, killed after they paid ransom, that she just had her 1 year of marriage. That happened after her marriage was just 1 year, and she had twins, and her husband was kidnapped and killed. Now let me show you how Nigerians have reacted. The headline says my husband was kidnapped and killed, and they killed him after collecting ransom just a year after her wedding. Young widow broke down in tears at the ongoing protest at the National Assembly in Abuja over electoral reform. And see how some Nigerians have reacted. This person here said, any Nigerian who claimed this government is competent is a wicked Nigerian. You see the news of insecurity, people dying every day but because it is not you or your family members, you can't say the leaders are doing well. If Tinubu is competent, why is he scared of free and fair election? And this person here says, it is sad. The annoying thing is that the government are nonchalant about the ongoing insecurity. And this person here say, since the inception of APC government, many families are experiencing pain and trauma. This is more than heartbreaking. We can't continue living this way in this country. Enough is enough. And this person say, in the long run, whoever is telling you democracy is what we need in a complex system like Nigeria is joking. Dictatorship democracy is what we work in Nigeria, or let us start calling for regionalism. And this person is so sad. You don't understand what many go through in Nigeria until you listen to their stories. Nigeria failed her husband. Please be strong. And this other person here say, look at the irony. Those thousands of police officers are deployed to block this widow from the National Assembly, yet none were available to save her husband from kidnappers. The government is only efficient when it comes to suppressing citizens, not when it's time to save them. And this other person here said, in 2026, 2027, INEC still cannot transmit election results in real time. That's Nigeria for you. So what's the point of the 31 out of 36 governors joining APC when Nigerians still won't get free and fair election? Nigerian politicians are so corrupt and wicked. This Nigerian who is not living in Nigeria is lambasting them. And then these are some of the reactions. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more. Now take a look.
As you are seeing me, I'm a young widow. I am a lady whose husband was kidnapped and killed after paying ransom just 1 year after my wedding, and I gave birth to a set of twins. As you can see, I have a lifetime experience. I have an experience that is breaking me all through my life. So now you can see that I am bittered that this is the way Nigeria is at the moment. So we want a free and fair election. And all we are asking, why am I here? Why did I flew all the way down to Abuja? Is to tell the Senate, to tell the National Assembly, to tell the Senate that please, we want electronic transmission of our election results. Real-time electronic transmission of our election results. One man, one vote. Our vote must count. Our vote must count. That is all why we are here. That is why we are here, and that is why I am here. Thank you.
Yes. So you mean to tell me that with all the wickedness, all the wicked politicians that you guys have in Nigeria, everything that they are doing, that they still don't want to do? What was now the point of literally like 31 out of 36 states in Nigeria is APC? All of them have come to APC. What was the point of doing that if they still were not going to give you guys free and fair elections? If they were not going to still give you guys free and fair elections, what was the point of almost all the governors in Nigeria going to APC? I don't understand. So they're telling you guys that they cannot transmit election results in real time. In 2027, we're in 2026 now, 2027, they cannot transmit election results in real time. That's Nigeria for you. All of those politicians, all of them, they are wicked.
They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world, very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
On the ground have described what's happening in the Middle Belt in the north of Nigeria right now in the last 10 days as a bloodbath. Potentially as many as 300 have been killed throughout that region of Nigeria. We've had this priest who has been kidnapped as well with 10 of his parishioners. 3 of them were killed in one of the states of Nigeria where we had about 150 people killed. And I will point out, a lot of those were Muslims, actually, that were refusing to submit to Sharia law and were trying to follow the Constitution of Nigeria. They were killed, but amongst those were also Christians, and they were burned inside of a church. They set it on fire. So it's just wanton death and murder and destruction that continues. But working with the administration, we are making steps in the right direction to address this persecution. The president is very singularly focused on addressing this. We now have special forces in Nigeria in a non-combative manner. They're there assisting the Nigerians. We have just signed a security cooperation roadmap with the Nigerian government and their military to continue to work on this. And we have also conditioned their security assistance in the last state foreign operations bill and appropriations that was just signed into law by President Trump.
Yeah, this is a lot of movement. You were talking about that one area, and residents told Reuters the attackers that hit their village were jihadists. In fact, these Islamic radical jihadists are what are being pointed to. You and I have talked about them before. They had been preaching inside their village, urging the locals to abandon Nigeria's state and their religion, Christianity, and adopt Sharia rule. When the villagers refused, the militants opened fire on them. So you're right, it's not just the people who are already Christians, it's those who might be open to helping Christians at this point. And I know that Nigeria's president, Tinubu, has said that they've deployed an army battalion to some of these areas. Are we making enough difference to where he's going to take some real action now?
Yes, but one of those actions that he needs to take, and he has said, he stated this publicly just when he was prior to being president, was in the Senate, or governor rather, is that he wanted to see a federalized police force, which is absolutely something that has to happen. Each state has to have the ability to secure their own people. Right now, you just have the police force in Abuja. It's a national police force. We need to arm the different police forces of the states throughout Nigeria to be able to protect the Christians that are being martyred throughout this country and provide security in a country that is facing massive insecurity challenges because of this centralized control right now that's been taking place.
Well, look, Congressman Moore, I know you've been all over this. Religious freedom is something that we stand for in this country, and when we see light being covered by darkness, we want to help. Thank you for all that you're doing, and thank you for the latest on all of this.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, and thank you, viewers, for joining us.
What do you make of what played out today? Emergency session. A lot of Nigerians were happy that the Senate, for a moment, they are reacting to the emotions of Nigeria and listening to the Nigerian people. They came and they adopted the vote and proceedings today, but that's how all it ended. That clause 63 has been adopted and voted for in that manner.
Well, what I saw today was treachery.
What do you mean?
It was deceit. It was 419, the way we know it in Nigeria, obtaining by false pretense. First of all, Senator Munguno told Nigerians that they had to summon this session in order to listen to the yearnings of Nigerians, in order to take their will into consideration. What did they end up doing? They took their own will into consideration through the back door. What have we been saying? What we have been saying is that we want unconditional electronic transmission of polling unit results to preserve the integrity of our results. Let me make it clear. We do not have anything like electronic collation of results. What we have is electronic preservation, storage, and transmission of the manually generated polling unit results in order to preserve the integrity of the result. In other words, Nigerians have discovered that our problem is that in between polling unit and the collation center, a lot of abracadabra take place that mutilates, that inflates, that fraudulently manipulates the polling unit results in order to give you not what the people voted, but what the counters of the elections would want. What did the senators do today? What they did was that they said, oh, we can now electronically transmit with a proviso that when it is not possible to transmit, you will use the manual. That is the discussion we have been fighting for.
Is it not safer?
No, it is dangerous.
Can you trust technology 100%?
When it comes to this issue, I trust it 100%. Why am I saying so? INEC was the one who invented IRF portal. They have never complained for one day since they started using it, almost 2020, that technology failed them in uploading the result. Not one day. But let me tell you the funny thing. BVAS is the technological device that INEC chose to accredit voters. And BVAS, by section 47, subsection 1 to 3, they said you must accredit with BVAS. And when BVAS is not working, what do? They didn't say you should rely on the manual register of voters. They said you should cancel the election and reschedule it. And this is beavers working throughout the day. Yet the consequence, if it is not working, is that you cancel the election. The same beavers is what they said they are going to use to upload the scanned copy of the Form EC8A on the IRF portal. One transaction. And then you're telling us that if that one transaction does not go, they should go back to the manual. No. That is legitimatizing the technical glitch which Yakubu Mohammed brought. Because what they are simply saying is that the provision reads, when there is technical glitch, in quotes, by INEC, because they are the ones who will tell you they don't have network, then use the manual. That was exactly what happened in 2023. Amazon Website Services said there was no glitch. Nothing happened to their station. INEC said that there was glitch. And when you want to go to court, they will tell you, he that asserts should prove, even when you don't have the document. Let me tell you what the Supreme Court said about proviso. In the case of NDIC versus Okem Enterprises Limited, 2004, 10 Nigeria Weekly Law Report, part 880 at page 107. The Supreme Court said the purpose of proviso in a statutory enactment is to qualify or cut down the main clause in the statute preceding it. Remember what happened in the case of Ebegunde, Ebegunde and the Ondo State House of Assembly. The Supreme Court said that proviso means that, yes, if you defect from one party to the other, you lose your seat, provided that there is no division in the party. That is what the proviso does. The proviso destroys the main clause to the limit of whatever they say. So when they say that the proviso is that you cannot use manual, it has destroyed completely the electronically transmitted.
Let me break it down
that we have been fighting for.
Let me break it down.
So that is dubiousness. And let me tell you, the opposition senators displayed a lot of timidity and unintelligence. And the ruling senators, as they know, displayed a lot of mischief and dubiousness. They are the people that will want us not to even believe what we are seeing. You will catch them rubbing the leg of a woman and they will tell you it's AI. Even what we are seeing, those ruling senators with their dubiousness, that is what they want to do to us.
Give me a moment. Let me break it down for our viewers. There are 3 layers on election day that are very critical to an election. The first is accreditation. The second is voting. And the third is result processing. For those who are election savvy, we know that these are the critical leg for an election to happen for you. You need to first of all be verified and certified to be able to partake in that election, which is a process of accreditation. In our own climb, it's a combined effort in once you are accredited, you vote immediately. The simultaneous voting and accreditation, which the beavers is been primed to do. Meanwhile, in all of the 3 processes in Nigeria election, by our law, it is only one out of it that is electronically backed by law, which is the accreditation. Our voting manual, result collation manual. So there are those who are asking the question, can we go the whole organ? There are those who are saying, if you cannot do the voting by electronic means, can you collect the result by electronic means? In the real sense of it, the election rigging, those years, always happen when they stop the ballot and they thumbprint and they over thumbprint the ballot. But that is not a trend any longer because accreditation electronically has been able to fight that. But where the problem has been over the years is the result collation and transmission of this result, which is by manual process. And that's where the debate is. So the question today is that there will be an harmonization committee, Mr. Okonkwo.
Yes.
And when they go into the harmonization, procedurally, they are supposed to look at what the House of Reps had concluded since last year, what the Senate has arrived at. They will put it together, harmonize it, and form the bill that will now be taken for the presidential assent for gazetting once the president. We understand that the presidency is expecting that bill so that he can append his signature on it. But I know there will be further debate on this. The version of the House is different now from the version of the Senate. Which one do you think will supersede?
Now, the two versions should complete the intention of the Nigerian people.
Which is?
Just like it is written in section 47, subsection 3. He said, where the card reader or any technological device deployed by INEC for the accreditation of voters fails to function, the election should be cancelled and rescheduled. Where, because there should be no option as to electronically transmission of the election result from the polling unit in real time. Where it is not possible, the election in that polling unit should be cancelled and should be rescheduled. How many times have we cancelled any election because Beavers has not been working? 98% of the time you have been covering all election. Beavers had worked. And whenever Beavers does not work, they replace it. When they talk about this network, you begin to see that this is outright mischief. What am I saying that? Shem, we communicate on WhatsApp. At times you send a message on WhatsApp and then it might not download because of network. Automatically when the network comes, it downloads. So what is the reason they're talking about? It is no reason. They simply want to sneak into that manual something so that they can manipulate and rig election. The issue of transfer or no transfer or network or no network is no reason whatsoever.
But don't you think that is a middle point, politically arriving? And yes, for those who debate that there is need for electronic transmission will happen. But those who believe that we have not gotten to the point that we can go all in achieving the electronic transmission of result, let's meet at the middle point. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work,
that's what I'm saying. There's no middle point to meet because we are not doing electronic voting. We're not doing electronic collation. We are simply saying preserve the manual so that everybody will see the election from the polling unit so that you can't go home to manipulate it. We remember what happened in Obiako. We remember what happened in Lagos. Every polling unit result was mutilated, was inflated. We saw it. It is still there on the internet. So that's why I'm saying when they're telling you halfway, no, because we are not doing any electronic voting. We're not doing electronic collation. What we are simply saying, when you finish that your manual, upload the scanned copy immediately before you have any chance to change it.
Now,
when you do any collation, if you check the regulations and guidelines of INEC, whenever you finish any collation, the collated result, you transmit immediately to the collation system, to the IREV, so that each level of collation will use the electronically preserved copy. It is not electronically...
And what the House of Reps version, you know that it was in this present law, Electoral Act Amendment of 2022, what the law says in sub 65 is how to transfer the result. But in these the House of Reps version, the sub 60 sub 5 talks about the punishment for anybody who fails to be able to transmit the result. But for those of us who still have institutional memory of our election, and there are governors who are now former governors now, that incident forms became a thing in our courtroom, because you know what the law says at the time and the guidelines of INEC, that when the card reader fails, the INEC official can revert to incident forms, and some states, they literally just abandoned the card reader and started using incident forms. But this is an experience I thought that those who are politicians and those who have institutional memory might be able to remember that that way was a bad route that we went. But is it okay for us to think that the struggle to achieving 100%, because the lawmakers are saying, remove real time, remove simultaneous, what's it called? Just leave it as that. The struggle continues. Is that what it looks like now?
Once they put that law that you must transmit from the polling unit, I'm okay. So any presiding officer will not leave the polling unit.
So you want them to remove the provisor?
No, completely. Because that is giving discretion to INEC to use manual. That is what we have been fighting for.
Do you think they can override the version of the House of Reps?
No, they cannot. There are two different houses.
Because the House of Reps version is the perfect version that a lot of Nigerians want.
Except
real time, simultaneous,
yes.
transmission of the result electronically.
Yes.
The House of Reps version has all of that.
Yes, the House of Reps should go for that, to say that where it is not possible to transmit from the polling unit, that election should be cancelled. It is there in the accreditation, which is more difficult. The uploading is just one single action.
But is it going to be fair that all of the process, because I analyzed for our viewers tonight, there are 3 processes. So if you are successful in accreditation, successful in voting, why would you cancel the entire process because you cannot transmit electronically the results?
Because the reason you're doing accreditation, the reason you're doing voting is for the result. So if you do all those things to get a fraudulent result, what have you gained? You have actually emboldened the criminals. You have actually voted for the criminals. Let me tell you, the only problem we have in this country is fraudulent elections. On the day we have free, fair, credible elections in Nigeria, 20 years after that, we'll become a superpower nation. Take my words for it. America is sustained today not because they don't have bad men, but because power lies with the people. And let me plead with Nigerians. They should not think this job is for the opposition. No. Democracy is not government of ADC. It's not government of APC. It's government of the people. Democracy, why I'm fighting is not because I'm in the opposition. No, I am fighting so that I will have the power to be able to determine who governs me, so that my sons and children will grow up in Nigeria where they have the power to determine who governs them. So this is a fight for all Nigerians. And we must come together, whether you're APC, whether you're PDP or PDP. What we are saying is power should belong to the people. Sovereignty belongs to the people, from whom the government derives all its power. And it is only through election that they exercise that sovereignty. So this fight, Nigerians should know, journalists, everybody, because fraudulent elections produce fraudulent leaders. And everything will not work with fraudulent leaders. Nobody is fighting because he's in the opposition. No. We are fighting for the freedom to determine who governs us.
I'd like us to wrap up in this manner. And we ask ourselves the truth. Any progressive-minded person, we want an advancement, a better version of what you did yesterday. It's only a backwater that we think that I want to stay in yesterday. Everybody should naturally think about moving forward. That's why whatever that we improve our electoral process should be thought about. But the question is that, and this is a challenge perhaps for our leaders in terms of our technological advancement, is it a fact that there are some areas in this country that don't have network? Yes. And let's think carefully on how do we then make provision for these people such that they are not disenfranchised.
Good. Any elder that is telling you that he doesn't have network is fraudulent.
In this country?
Yes. How then has INEC been transmitting all the results from IREF from his own village? Because I'm aware, as you know, I was a spokesperson. I was in the campaign team. I was in the legal process. There's no time INEC has told you that they couldn't transmit any result from any part of Nigeria. And there are agents, there are companies that have assured Nigerians that they can produce the network. You are telling me an organization that took 400 billion naira from Nigerian people cannot for such a serious thing, make provision to have network on that day for a single transaction. And I told you that even if you don't have network and you upload, you can upload. You can upload. Whenever the network comes, it comes in. So anybody telling you that he does not have network is fraudulent. I am saying it and I'm standing by it.
Kenneth Okonkwo is a lawyer and a member of the opposition.
So while we are still protesting at the National Assembly, Senator Okwabio and his gang, they've gone ahead to pass the Electoral Act again. They've reviewed it. But this time around, what they passed is there will be electoral transmission of results. They now added a but. In a case where there is network problem, I bet who tell Akpabio said there will be network problem. Say in a case where there will be network problem, that the electoral officer can collect the result manually. We don't want bots. We don't want manual. All we want is mandatory transmission of electoral results. Simple. If PAMPay, POS, if OPay, if money points, if bandits can work in rural areas in forests, why can't the election results? Why can't the what they call it, beavers? Why can't the beavers work? Yakubu told us before they bought those beavers that in a place where there is no network, that the beavers can upload, and when it gets to a place there is network, that it will send. We now asked Yakubu that can it be manipulated during that process? Yakubu said no. Yakubu said it cannot be manipulated, that once you click send, it might not get to IRF now, that time, but once you get to where there's network, it will send. Yeah, what is your name again? Akpabio. They have added bots that they can use in court.
So guys, you can see what is currently happening in Nigeria. These people are not, I don't know the kind of heartlessness among these politicians in Nigeria. Ojo Okalu is boldly coming out to tell Nigerians that he doesn't have internet in his village, and for that reason he's not going to support the mandatory transmission of election results. Can you imagine? The strategy is keep them poor so we can keep using them during election. Now, Seyi Tinubu was saying sharing food to people. They are not ashamed. Seyi Tinubu, whom they say, I think he's a lawyer. What did he even read? I don't know what he studied, you know. He's coming out to share food to Nigerians. Can you imagine that level of deceit and betrayal? These people, and he wants to become governor, he's sharing food, keep them poor so we can continue using them during election. That's the strategy they are using on ground. But this time around, Nigerians are wise enough and it's not going to work for them. That's why people are waking up to say enough of this mess. I mean, enough of the mess. The APC is scared of mandatory transmission of results. Abaribe was challenging them. Vote, let's see. You know, Abaribe say vote, let's see. All these Okali is bold enough to stand up to say, me, I don't even need to vote. I will say my own openly that I'm not going to support the mandatory transmission of results. That's to tell you how bad these people are. They don't care. They don't care about the plight of Nigerians. If you think, I don't know, sometimes it's like we shouldn't even just have election in this country. Because what's the need of people risking their lives? You know what it means to vote in Nigeria? You are putting your life in danger coming out to vote, considering what happened during the last election in Lagos State, where they would tell if you're an Igbo, you dare not come out. I mean, you dare not come out. People were threatened and all kinds of things that happened in the last election. And people will go through all that, and then these people will come into power. They will just be playing with the lives of Nigerians. I think we've had enough of it. We've really had enough of all this mess. So guys, this is what is happening in Nigeria, and that is why we must call a spade in terms of you know, the recklessness of the leaders, the people, the so-called leaders we have in Nigeria. We have had them enough. It's time to like give them a boot. They are scared of free and fair election. If not, with all the APC members in the I mean all the governors in the APC, why are they still scared? Why are they scared of the people? Why? Tell me why Seyi Tinubu and his father are scared of Nigerians. Tell me why they don't want Nigerians to, you know, to have their way in the next election. So guys, I'm just wondering how we got to where we are today. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more updates. Thank you.